I know I look a little tired. I just got up. I need to wipe my face off. Whatever. I need to pop this off and get this off of my chest because it's just running through my brain. Because I decided to check the news when I woke up today. Probably a mistake. I can't do this Kamala Harris versus Trump stuff at all. I can't do it. I know a lot of people are telling me you got to vote for Kamala Harris. You got to vote for Walz. You got to get Trump, out of here. I can't do it. I tuned into parts of the debate last night, and at times I felt like it was a moderate Republican versus a MAGA Republican in a Republican primary. If you would have told me that Walz is this progressive light heading towards progressive governor of Minnesota, I believe is where he's from, right? I wouldn't have even known. I wouldn't have known. I would have thought Walz is a moderate Republican. It was disastrous. Disastrous. He even said something about how we need to expand the war in, now what did he say about Israel? He said we need to essentially stand with Israeli expansion. No, the expansion of Israel and our proxies. What is that? Is that heading towards a broader regional war? Is that World War III saber rattling? I mean, it doesn't sound good to hear stuff like that. As Israel is starting a major war with Lebanon and Iran right now, that's the last thing we need is to expand this and to defend this. And don't get me wrong, I'm against the genocide in Gaza and all that stuff already. So there's already a red flag on this issue for me. But he wants to expand it. He believes that our proxies in Israel should see expansion from this, essentially. What's that other than heading towards broader regional war disaster? Horrible. Horrific. And again, J.D. Vance was a disaster too. He was full-on MAGA lunacy. He refused to condemn Trump when it comes to claiming the election was rigged. He refused to give a response about whether, they'd accept the results of the election. And that's scary too, but my God. It felt like a moderate Republican versus a full-on Republican. The border policies are a disaster. Beyond just the inhumanity of the border policies and the right-wing border policies that both candidates are defending and pushing, they're unrealistic when it comes to climate change. When wet bull effects set in and when climate change ramps up, there are going to be people coming to our border because they simply can't live in their countries anymore. It's already happening in some places. That little island nation, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is it Tuvalu? It's a little Pacific, oceanic, or little island nation that's disappearing. And that people are having to move to Australia, the people of that country. I've read about it. There's a handful of people who still live there, and their houses are built up on stilts and shit from the pictures I've seen. But most of them have moved away to Australia because they have no choice. They don't have a country anymore. And then you look at the response to the hurricane. Both parties have dropped the ball. Yes, the Republicans made up some shit about, the disaster relief not getting there. And they were inaccurate in some of their, accusations. But the Democrats still haven't done enough. They dropped the ball to an extent, too. I believe the mayor of Ashland, or is it Asheville? That city in North Carolina. That mayor that people are saying isn't doing interviews and, disappeared or whatever. Isn't he a leftist? Isn't he, or a Democrat? We can debate whether Democrats are leftists or not. Some are, some aren't. Whatever. It's a disaster, though. From both parties. We have the longshoremen strike. Oh, that's another thing. Seeing liberals, Kamala Harris supporter types, claiming that the longshoremen are just doing this strike to hurt Kamala Harris and help Trump. This has been 6 years in the making, I believe. I know it's over 4 or 5 years, at least, that they've been, threatening this strike, trying to deal with this. I doubt they just wanted to do this now. It's not really an ideal time to do a strike. And they know that. They probably didn't want to have to do this. You forced their hand. And the disaster that's going to come from that. Speaking of strikes, wasn't it Biden and Kamala Harris who broke the railroad strike? Again, left and right, I'm seeing these two parties as a disaster for this country, and I can't support it. You can tell me all you want about how I need to support Kamala Harris. But how can I when they're threatening larger regional wars? How can I when I look at how the two parties dealt with the hurricane? How can I when I look at the border? They're fumbling the ball left and right, both of these two major parties, are disasters. So no, I'm going to probably protest vote for Jill Stein. I'm going to throw my vote to the Green Party because at least they accept climate change and want to do something about, the mass migration crisis that isn't unrealistic. Just deporting the immigrants, just shutting down the border isn't going to solve it. I don't know. I also don't want World War III to eventually pop off. I don't like the expansion of these regional wars, the saber rattling. I want an end to the genocide. So yeah, I'm going to vote Jill Stein. If that upsets you, so be it. But I can't vote for this.